Alright, so this video is going to be about who I think are the top 5 best point guards in the NBA today. This is just my personal opinion, so let me know if you guys have a different list of players of who you think are the top 5 best point guards in the NBA. So here it goes. Starting at number 5, I'm going to have to go with John Wall. John Wall is definitely one of the best all-around point guards in the NBA because he is capable of doing so many different things. He has great passing ability as he averages over 10 assists a game, has great ball handling ability, is also really good at rebounding, and is one of the best players at taking it to the basket. In my opinion, John Wall is also arguably the best defensive point guard in the NBA today because not only is he one of the league's leaders in steals, but he is also the top shot blocker amongst other point guards as well. John Wall is also very good at man-to-man defense and keeping his opponent in front of him when he's playing defense. The only drawback about John Wall is that he is not a very consistent shooter. His mid-range jump shot has gotten a lot better and his three-point shot has improved a lot over the years, but he still needs to be much more consistent with his jumpers, especially the three-pointers. He also has a slightly low field goal percentage from the field, meaning he isn't too reliable offensively, but he is still capable of 20 points per game. Moving on, the 4th best point guard in the NBA, in my opinion, is Kyrie Irving. Although Kyrie has had a lot of recent injuries, when he is healthy, then he is easily one of the best offensive point guards in the NBA, capable of averaging 25 points per game. He's capable of scoring in so many different ways. Kyrie Irving could take the ball to the basket while finishing with fancy, difficult layups, and he is also a great shooter from all distances. His mid-range jump shot as well as his three-point shot is one of the best of any players in the NBA. Kyrie is also great at handling the ball and weaving through traffic without losing the ball as well. Kyrie is also a decent passer, averaging about 5 assists per game. There are a few drawbacks to Kyrie Irving's game, but the main one being his lack of defense. Kyrie Irving isn't very good on defense as he struggles to play man-to-man defense and does a very poor job of keeping the offensive player in front of him. He also only averages a little over 1 steal a game, which is very little for a superstar point guard. Next on the list for number 3 would be Chris Paul. In my opinion, Chris Paul is the best leader in the game and is probably the smartest player on the court. He's got tremendous basketball IQ, knowing the perfect time to pass and to score the ball. Chris Paul is definitely one of the best passers in the NBA, if not the best passer, and he has also led the league in assists multiple times and is always in the top 5. And is capable of easily averaging over 10 assists a game. Chris Paul has by far the highest assist to turnover ratio in the league today, and even in the NBA history amongst all NBA point guards. He only averages a little over 2 turnovers a game to go with his 10 or more assists, which really and clearly shows that he is great at ball handling and is also great at making decisions with the ball. Offensively speaking, Chris Paul is capable of scoring 20 points per game on any given night, shooting almost 50% from the field and almost 40% from three-point range. Also almost 90% from the free throw line. He has a very reliable three-point shot and his mid-range jumper is probably the best in the NBA today. Defensively speaking, Chris Paul has led the league in steals multiple times, easily averaging almost 3 steals a game, and he has also won all defensive first team 6 times. Chris Paul is clearly one of the best defensive point guards in the NBA today and is definitely the best at what he does on the court as a true fundamental point guard. Next up, we have Russell Westbrook at number 2. Russell Westbrook is easily the most athletic and most explosive point guard in the NBA today. He is the most relentless and skilled player at taking the ball to the basket and finishing at the rim. Although his three-point shot is quite inconsistent, and I would not rank it as one of the best three-point shots compared to other point guards, I would definitely say that his mid-range jumper is clearly one of the best of any point guards, along with Chris Paul. Westbrook is also great at drawing fouls and shooting a tremendous amount of free throws every single game. He's also such a great free throw shooter, which makes him a very deadly offensive player. Russell Westbrook is one of the most offensively talented point guards in the NBA and is one of the greatest passers in the game today, who's capable of averaging over 10 assists a game. He is also by far the best rebounding point guard in the NBA, which gives him the complete package as a player, making him the best stat sheet stuffer for fantasy basketball. With all of that being said, Russell Westbrook is also a great defensive player who is very good at keeping his opponent in front of him with his quickness and his athleticism. And he is also very good on off-ball defense as he averages over 2 steals a game. Once again, a very complete point guard. The only drawbacks about Russell Westbrook is his inconsistent three-point shot along with his high amounts of turnovers, especially in the fourth quarter when it matters the most. This guy is capable of averaging over 4 turnovers a game, which is way too much for any player. These are some of the huge flaws in his game that he still needs to work on in order to develop into the perfect point guard. At number 1, I think you guys can already guess who is the best point guard in the NBA, and perhaps arguably even the best player in the NBA today, winning back-to-back MVPs, and that would be Stephen Curry. Steph Curry in 2016 put up one of the best regular season individual performances of any player in the NBA history, averaging 30 points per game, 6.7 assists per game, and 5.4 rebounds per game, along with 2.1 steals, which leads the NBA. Steph Curry also shot 50% from the field, 45% from the three-point line, and 90% from the free throw line. Although he is not the quickest or most athletic point guard in the league, he is still one of the best all-around point guards in the NBA and by far the best shooter this league has ever seen of any player in any position. Steph Curry has broken the regular season record in most three-pointers made multiple times, breaking his own record over and over, while shooting over 40% from the three-point range as well. Steph Curry also has one of the highest career free throw percentages of any player in NBA history, to go along with Steve Nash. In terms of his ball handling ability, Steph Curry is amongst the best in terms of fancy dribbles and making difficult shots. He is also extremely capable of taking it to the rim with fancy handles to go along with his perfect jump shot from any distance. This makes Steph Curry one of the best scoring point guards in the history of the NBA, which has allowed him to win the NBA scoring title this year. A few things that I personally think Steph Curry needs to work on is his defense. Although he isn't a bad defender and is actually great defensively on a stat sheet, I feel like it's still one of the weakest parts of his game if I had to nitpick. This hinders him from becoming a complete all-around player as he struggles to stay in front of his opponent and play aggressive defense in that manner. He isn't very good at keeping the offensive player directly in front of him without letting them get by. Also, another thing that Steph Curry really needs to work on is reducing the amount of turnovers he is averaging per game, as he easily averages over 3 turnovers a game, which is a lot considering he only gets like 5 or 6 assists a game, leaving him at a terrible assist to turnover ratio. Aside from these little drawbacks, he is clearly the best point guard in the NBA and perhaps even the best player in the league today. Anyways guys, this is my personal list of the top 5 point guards in the NBA today as of 2016. I also gave you guys my reasoning of why I think these are the top 5 point guards, so let me know what you guys think. Make sure you guys leave your comments below and let me know who you guys think are the top 5 point guards in the NBA today. Thanks guys.